Today we're at the Cliff House and we're talking deck waterproofing. I'm Dave Edwards.
I'm Juan Flores.
Let's get to it. So Juan, I have to say, this deck looks a lot different than when we first got here. So tell me a little bit about when you first came to the project, what was happening with this deck? Because there actually used to be tile over this deck, but we were seeing when we exposed the underside of the deck, we saw a lot of rot from before. So tell me about what you found here.
Yeah, you're right, Dave. Yeah, since the deck, it was not a part of the principal scope of work, but during the construction, we found several damage by the water when we opened underneath of the ceilings. So we found like a lot of water leaks problems. It was a rotten wood. All the plywood's totally destroyed by the water eventually. So that's why we became to reconstruction it and then became with a better solution in the waterproof.
So what you found was that underneath the tile that used to be here, the waterproofing that was under that was actually not really working anymore. Correct. And it had actually slowly rotted all the wood underneath.
Yes.
And so you actually literally had to rebuild this entire deck.
Yes, correct. So we found all the problems, and then we working with the architects. We become with try to find different ways to become with proactive with the waterproof. We look at different products like PVC membranes and all the different options. But working with the architects, we became with the camper system, which is more efficient. It's a low VOC product. It's a naturally green environment building.
Okay. And so what were the other issues that you came up with? Like you mentioned the PVC membranes. Like why didn't you use some of those other membranes?
Because the chemicals, I mean, it's the membrane, I mean, to build the membrane is involved chemicals, which is not efficient, is not a part of the building better way. So right. We come up with the camper system, which is offer more durable product. It's offering between 12 to 15 years and the warranty product.
Okay, so it was just a better system. So not only was it green, it didn't produce the dioxins that we see from PVC membrane-like materials, but it also gave us a better warranty.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of got everything that we needed for this project. Yep. Okay, so now what's going to go on the top of this after this membrane, which is down, and finally waterproof this roof? What goes on top of this?
Yes, after this one is already waterproofing, so we're gonna add a tile. And then tile, so we're gonna add the system, the bill rail. It's gonna be a glass bill rail.
Okay, so we attach the tile directly to this membrane, or we put something between the tile and the membrane?
Yeah, we're gonna add a deck mat product, like a mortar. I mean, just to create a little bit to set the tile. So we're gonna create a little bit of slope. I mean, it's already a slope on it, but we're gonna create just to be more safe. Okay. And then after that, so we're gonna set the tile.
So we're gonna put a mortar bed, which is like a concrete. Correct. A very thin concrete, and then we're going to slope that away from the house.
Yes.
And then that's going to drain into the gutter we have here, and then Correct. The tile gets attached to that.
Correct.
Okay. So then I noticed behind us though, that we've actually torn up the bottom of the wall. So why have we torn up the bottom of the wall here?
Yeah, this is part of the waterproof. This is essentially, so we need to turn down the stucco so we can go over with the waterproof against the plywood, and then the stucco is gonna be, I mean, the membrane, the waterproof membrane is going to be overlap the waterproof membrane on the deck, and then the stucco. So we create a better.
Okay, so we're actually shingling the material.
Correct. It's going to be overlapping.
Okay. So that's going to divert any water that gets through the stucco and hits the waterproof paper underneath. Will come over the top of this membrane, and then that will drain away to the gutter system.
Correct.
Okay. So then we're keeping the water away from the house to make it last longer, basically.
That's the point. Yes.
Okay. And then, so now before we've put on the tile, we have this membrane. It has sand on it. Now, is the sand part of the waterproofing, or is the sand here for something else?
It's part of the waterproofing system, but I mean, like you say, it's part of the something else. It's just to protect from the sun, from the all the sunlight exposed. So.
Okay. So kind of like a tar and gravel roof where they put gravel over the top of the tar, not because it actually stops water, but because it just protects the tar from sunlight exposure, which will oxidize it and cause it to fail prematurely.
Correct.
Okay. Now, we do have a railing on the outside of this, and you talked about the glass railing. We can actually put fasteners through this. Do we have to do anything after we put like big screws through that in order to protect the screws from allowing water through?
Yes. So essentially, the screws is gonna be on the edge of the deck, so which is not gonna be compromise the interior of the house.
Okay.
Plus, we need to waterproofing all the fasteners, screws, or whatever we're gonna attach the.
So we actually put more waterproofing on top of the
Correct.
screws to make sure.
Yes.
Okay. So what we've really done is taken this, what is an absolutely extraordinary space, and made it last a long time and protect the interior of the house, protect the
Correct.
structure of the house, protect the investment of the homeowners to really be a functional living space for decades.
That's right.
Okay. So if you're interested in learning more about this project or about other projects or about building science in general, hit the subscribe button as we show you how to build a better way.